This is the News Beat from OU Daily. My name's Megan. Here are your weekly headlines. One of the biggest stories of the week was the announcement of a $1 billion entertainment district. The development area is planned for Rock Creek Road and 24th Avenue Northwest, nearing I-35 and the Max Westheimer Airport. The district will include a multi-purpose performance venue, new retail shops, restaurants, bars, offices, a hotel, and housing for, quote, thousands. That venue would host concerts and shows, as well as OU basketball and women's gymnastics meets. That $1 billion price tag will be paid through a combination of funds, 80% coming from private funding, with the remaining 20% accessed through public sources. The proposal must pass City Council. The Norman Economic Development Council President and CEO Lawrence McKinney told OU Daily he expects a vote by the end of the year, though he isn't entirely sure it would be approved. Here's McKinney.
I'm confident that we have an open-minded City Council. They've been listening to us. We've been providing them a lot of information. They've been asking a lot of questions. They've met with our developers. They've seen some layouts. They didn't particularly like certain aspects, so they asked our developers to come back with a different design. That's why we don't have the numbers today, because we're still tweaking those new numbers based on new designs that the city and county have asked us for.
McKinney said should the project pass by the end of 2023, the arena could be ready in 2026. The Daily also talked to Ward 7 Council member Stephen Tyler Holman, who said the announcement was more of a, quote, kickoff to the process where decisions will be made. Holman said there are still a lot of ideas for how to develop that area, and he feels optimistic about what could be there for the community. On funding, Holman said the source of the 20% in public funds are still up for debate. He predicts it will be a combined effort from OU, the Cleveland County government, and the city. During the event, Norman Mayor Larry Heikkila said taxpayers would be asked to fund about $27 million. He predicts that will lead to community and council support. Here's Heikkila.
We're not going to have to use people's money as much. And I like that. I like other people's money. It's always better than mine. It's so good that we can do this in a way that we're not bearing the brunt. The taxpayers aren't bearing the brunt.
This is not the first time the idea of an arena has appeared in the city. In 2017, the OU Foundation sought to build a similarly described entertainment district along I-35 between Tecumseh Road and Robinson Street. That proposal was withdrawn by the foundation in 2018 with redirected efforts towards building on foundation-owned University North Park land. To see the Daily's full coverage of this proposal, check out the news tab at oudaily.com. In celebration of the annual Red River Rivalry, the OU Food Pantry is holding a competition with the University of Texas Outpost Food Pantry. Students can bring in shelf-stable food items to participate. The OU and Texas food pantries will compete for bragging rights and a social media post. The Red River Food Fight will last until the end of September. Speaking of OU football, a non-injury collision between a train and a vehicle on Boyd Street increased traffic after OU's 73-0 win against Arkansas State. Railroad crossings around the stadium were closed to traffic, but later reopened to motorists and pedestrians. Harold Hamm, Continental Resources founder and executive chairman, spoke with OU President Joseph Harris, Jr. on Wednesday. Hamm's new book, Game Changer, Our 50-Year Mission to Secure America's Energy Independence, focuses on national energy strategy and implications for the U.S. During his talk, Hamm said students can get involved in energy by knowing facts and solutions and talking to friends, neighbors, and peers on campus about energy. To see more from Hamm's talk, visit oudaily.com. Moving to Norman Public Schools, the district made another update to its security guidelines on Wednesday. All spectators will now be required to walk through a weapons detection system before entering games. In an email to NPS staff and families, Superintendent Nick Migliorino said new guidelines will come as the district evaluates safety protocols. Now for our last headline. A former NPS teacher, Summer Boismier, is suing State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Ryan Walters, for defamatory statements. Boismier filed the suit after Walters posted multiple statements on his social media during his campaign that targeted her for putting a QR code in her classroom. That code went to the Brooklyn Library Books Unbanned website. which promotes reading banned books. Walters would publicly call to revoke Boismier's teaching license as Secretary of Education, accusing her of violating House Bill 1775. That bill prohibits public schools from teaching that a person is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive based on sex or race. Walters is accused of defamation, false representation, slander, and libel. Boismier is seeking $75,000 in damages. Let's look at the Daily's calendar for upcoming events this week. Later tonight, OU volleyball will play in Indiana. Tomorrow, OU football plays SMU at the Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. OU men's golf will compete in San Antonio, and the Red Dirt Collection will host a volunteer event with Sooners Without Borders. The Daily's calendar of events is filling up. The calendar tab on our website features campus, city, and statewide events. Thanks for listening to Newsbeat from OU Daily. This is the Daily's weekly news podcast. New episodes of Newsbeat will air every Friday. Each episode will give you a short recap of what happened on campus and across Norman that week. Be on the watch for longer special editions about each of our print productions. During those episodes, you'll get a behind-the-scenes look at articles and hear from reporters about their stories before you pick up your copy. In the meantime, keep up with us through the week on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at the OU Daily, and on our website at oudaily.com. Sports fans, check out the OU Daily Sports Podcast. Hear the latest in OU sports and commentary from sports editor Colton Soley and assistant sports editors Jason Batacchio and Louis Razor. You can find that on YouTube, Spotify, and oudaily.com. If you'd like to read more about the stories you heard on this podcast, you can find those and more online. My name's Megan. I'm a news reporter for the OU Daily. I'll see you here next week on the Newsbeat.